going to make sure that you walk away from this video knowing how to calculate how much life insurance you need. What I'm going to tell you is you need a needs analysis. There's no way for me or anyone else can tell you how much life insurance you need until you've broken down your needs. Everyone's financial situation is different. You make a certain type of income. Your family is accustomed to a certain type of lifestyle, and that means you have different debt, you have different loans. You need to understand and view in one picture what that looks like for you. So if you can do that, and I'm not going to leave you guessing. This is insurance basics, and I'm going to make sure that you walk away from this video knowing how to calculate how much life insurance you need. I'm going to do something called a needs analysis with you. And what this is LIFE. It's an acronym. Write those 4 letters down. One column, I want you to calculate all the loans, all the debt that you've accumulated. The next line, I would like for you to add up your income. Now, this is interesting because your income might be different for each person. And if you have dependents, I'm going to ask you to do a second step on this part. But right now, write down your income. If that's $50,000, write down $50,000. If that's $100,000, write down that. If your income fluctuates, do a guesstimate and just, round off. Now, if you have dependents and you are a primary breadwinner for someone inside of your household, you're going to want to make sure that your income can be replaced for as long as they were going to depend on you. So for me, let's say I have a 10-year-old. I don't, but this is just for easy math purposes. If I have a 10-year-old and I make $50,000, I'm probably thinking that my 10-year-old is going to rely on me financially for at least 10 more years. So 20 years old, okay? So that means that if something were to happen to me prematurely, I want to make sure that my 10-year-old will have my income coming in for them still for at least 10 more years. And maybe that's when they'll be able to financially be on their own. So that'll be 50,000 times the 10 years, okay? Now, whatever that is, write that number down. Okay. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is F, final expense. This is a conversation that maybe you should already have had with your family. If not, this is a good time to think about it. Don't think of death like a taboo. Think of it like a game plan. Everyone has to die. Let's have a plan for it so we're not afraid of it. So F for final expense, because this is the portion of your insurance policy that's going to pay for you to be buried, to pay for memorial services. If you want to be cremated, then this is the portion that's going to take care of that. So F for final expense, write that down, because if maybe let's say the average cost of a funeral service $15,000. If you want to be cremated, maybe $5,000. Okay, so write that number down according to what you think is best for you. Now, E, we're gonna do education. Now, I understand everyone watching this probably doesn't have kids, but maybe you can do this for your future kids, your grandkids, or whatever the case is. But how much money do you want to leave aside for your kids to have an education expense? And I understand that college is not necessarily the most popular way to wealth anymore. So maybe you just want to call it a legacy or whatever the case is, because it takes money to make money. And let's be honest, like even if your children want to grow up and be an entrepreneur or pick up a trade, it's going to take money to do that. And if you die prematurely, it just makes it that much harder because they don't have anyone else's to help them financially get to their goals. And doing things like this would help them in that way. So E, education or legacy, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, those 4 numbers that you've come up with, add them up. L, I, F, and E should add up to a number that will tell you how much life insurance you need. Okay, now begs the question, okay, some people that might be $25,000. If that's the case, then great, you can get yourself a nice whole life insurance policy and that should be feasible for you. But for some people watching this, that might be $1 million, $500,000. And if that's the case, don't be afraid of large numbers. That's why we have plans, and it actually is more attainable than what you think. Okay, how? Because like I said, we can use term insurance to supplement a whole life insurance plan. So for some of those things on your list, you'll notice, do you plan to be in debt for the rest of your life? Probably not. We can get a whole life insurance plan for the things that are permanent on that list, and then we can use the term life insurance to supplement the things on that list that are temporary. Like loans and things of that sort are temporary. You don't pay off a mortgage for the rest of your life. You don't pay off car loans for the rest of your life. I mean, the hope is that you don't. But let's say, God forbid, you experience a premature death. We want to make sure that the family house that you got that mortgage on, that we can pay that off so that your family doesn't have to pick up and move or struggle to pay mortgage payments. So if you have a $300,000 mortgage in that section, then we can always get something that's going to be temporary, like a term life insurance, a 30-year term life insurance plan, because it's low in cost and very affordable. So a bulk of the number that you see for those people with large numbers, a bulk of that can be supplemented with a very, very extremely affordable term insurance policy. So that's what we'll do with that. Also, income. Now, maybe you're the type of person that was going to take care of your kids for the rest of their lives, but I will help, but I hope that I don't have to financially support my children for the rest of their lives. I don't want to really raise any 50-year-old people who are not producing an income. So, like I said, income actually is going to be a temporary thing as well, because if you have children, most times children will have moved out by the time that they're 20 or 30 years old. They're not using your income anymore, and many times you're not even making that much of an income for the rest of your life, especially if you live to be retirement age. You'll find that your income goes down, so responsibilities shift, and that's why you're going to have an insurance plan that's going to reflect that. Okay, so income, if you have a 10-year-old, I gave you that example before. Let's say you're only needing that extra boost in income for about 10 more years. You're only going to add that into that term plan. That's what we're going to use that supplement for. Okay, now as we get to the other side of the life acronym, F, final expense, that's going to be the portion that obviously your need for a funeral or your need, that cost is always going to be there no matter when you die. So we probably should put that on the whole life insurance side, as well as I'll say education or legacy. I mean, this is the part where you can have a number of money or an amount in your mind that you want to leave for your family no matter what, just so that you can pour into the next generation. That you can probably put that a whole life expense as well if you can afford to. If not, you already know my trick: term it and then convert it. Okay, so that is the life acronym. If you'd like, you can find a link below where I will actually give you a free worksheet for you to access and you to go ahead and work this out with not just you, but every single person in your family. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, don't be a stranger. I genuinely want this to be an engaged platform. Like, I need you guys to talk to me so that I can better help you. So comment any questions that you have. Like the video if you feel like there's some value in what I've taught you today. And also subscribe so that you can always be notified when I'm dropping more information. In the meantime, you can expect the next video to be on home insurance basics. So for every homeowner out there or aspiring homeowner, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about your home insurance. Now, don't forget on your way out to like, comment, and subscribe. And in the meantime, that insurance chick is out. Thank you so much for watching.